And let's open our hearts to God's word for us this morning. Bless you, Millie. Go for it.
So, 10 years ago at Spring Harvest, my mum, my sister and I were healed from our allergies to dairy, soya and gluten. I was in year 2, and obviously I had to tell people that I was able to eat fun things like birthday cake and school dinners and chocolate milk again. I was nervous to tell my classmates that Jesus healed me from my allergies, because that's a massive statement to make when you're 7. But I desperately wanted to tell my friends and teachers what Jesus had done in my life. So despite Dorian hesitation, I prepared a Cheeses of the World show and tell and told my class all about Jesus. As everyone started tucking into Brie and Stilton, I took a deep breath and started telling them about what Jesus had done. It was scary enough sharing cheeses and Jesus with my class. I can't imagine how Isaiah felt during his vision. It says in Isaiah 6:6-8, "Then one of the seraphim flew to me with a live coal in his hand, which he had taken with tongs from the altar. With it, he touched my mouth and said, 'See, this has touched your lips. Your guilt is taken away and your sin atoned for.' Then I heard the voice of the Lord saying, 'Whom shall I send, and who will go for us?' And I said, 'Here am I, send me.'" I imagine Isaiah was equal parts shocked, awed, and awakened into action after hearing that his sin was atoned for and his guilt was taken away. And in the presence of such holiness too. He'd come face to face with the reality of God, spurring him to answer the call of, "Yes, here I am in your presence, send me." We'll be focusing on Isaiah's 2 pivotal statements in this passage, "Here I am," and "I will go." So first, let's think about the statement, "Here I am." In order to be awed and awakened by God, we need to put ourselves into situations where we will encounter God and be present, be here with him. The busyness of life and the ways we distract ourselves will only ever create a barrier between us and God. Of course, life is busy and we can't just stop everything. We can press pause and give ourselves time to think every once in a while about what and who we prioritize. Do we really need to spend another hour doom scrolling on social media, or would our time be better spent turning away from our screen and towards God? Whatever that looks like for each of us, reading our Bible, listening to worship music, praying, going for a walk in God's creation, these are all gateways into encountering God, the first step into following Isaiah's footsteps. There you are, God, here I am. Second pivotal statement Isaiah makes is, "I will go." Isaiah had been in God's presence, heard the voice of the Lord of all, and been fully seen by him. He had every reason to be filled with awe and wow. His sins had been forgiven and his guilt taken away. He was clean and fresh before holy God. What a great feeling. We know now, since Jesus' death and resurrection, we have also been offered forgiveness. All we need to do now is offer ourselves fully and willingly to God. Isaiah's lack of hesitation, "Here am I, send me," is very different from some of the other reactions we see in the Bible, like Moses, who argued, Gideon, who bargained, and Jonah, who just ran away. Isaiah offered himself fully and openly to God. No arguing, no bargaining, no running away, no what-ifs. Just simply answered, "Send me." Isaiah could have responded from his sense of self and inadequacy, but he seems to have responded from how he feels about God rather than how he feels about himself. That's a lesson we can learn from for sure. It's so easy to think about ourselves first, how we feel about ourselves, how busy life is, how our lack of confidence can feel like a barrier preventing us from responding to calling and stepping up to serve God. We prioritize our own self-consciousness and lack of self-esteem, and instead end up staying quiet and looking at our feet in times of open prayer in church or life group, or refraining from sharing our ideas in a church meeting, or chickening out and asking a friend to alpha or a church event. How different would our lives be, and the lives of the people we meet and spend time with, if we prioritize sharing our God stories over our own self-consciousness and sense of inadequacy? As I was on the college bus thinking about this passage and this talk, I wrote a poem about the barriers we put between ourselves and God, and what it feels like to really say, "Here I am, send me." It's called "It Is This." This is the barrier. It's in my head. Bricks and bricks of what ifs and what ifs and what ifs, and what if that barrier breaks? This is the sound that I can't hear. The barrier is soundproof, deflecting, deflecting, deflecting the words. This is the voice that takes over my mind. I'm not clever, I'm not brave, I'm not strong, I'm not enough for anything or anyone. This is the Lord, who breaks the barrier, who speaks clear and loud, who quiets the voice and says, "You are clever, you are brave, you are strong, you are enough." This is the question that clears the noise, that the Lord asks, "Whom shall I send? Who will go?" And I say, "Here I am, send me."